can extend your rating. So we will be raffling 2 DVDs and 2 books today. So I'm gonna pick. Okay, so the first one. Does everyone have a ticket, kind of ticket? Okay, number 13. Pastor Gomez, come on over. Have you seen Forks Over Knives?
Which one?
Forks Over Knives, have you seen this?
Very nice.
This is your gift.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Okay. Next number is 19.
okay.
19, Maria. Have you ever seen? I don't have a DVD. Oh, you have a DVD. You don't have a DVD player? That's okay, because we have a book to give them something better. Oh, that's for you. Thank you. Okay. Last two. Yes. Number 17. 17? Sumi! I don't know which one you want. So are you able to play this? Sure. Okay, so you have 8 Secrets to Ancient Health, a documentary. The last one. Okay. Number 14. 14? 14! This is for you. Oh, wow. Have fun. Thank you. That's it. Okay, and then the raffle.
Okay. While we're looking, we need a 3-prong cord. Oh, we got it. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, the recipes that I have chosen to demonstrate today, I'm going to have someone come help me demonstrate this from the audience. But the recipes I chose are because were based on the lecture about mental health, depression. And the first recipe is vegan red lentil curry. Then the second one will be flax walnut crackers, and the third one will be a tofu spread. These are all plant-based. For me, they're simple. The ingredients, you could find all of these ingredients at Walmart if you had to. So why don't we begin? We're going to start off with the vegan red lentil curry. And as I don't know if you all know, but red lentils are high in folate, they're high in fiber, and there was something else. I know magnesium and potassium. It's an anti-inflammatory food. All the spices we're putting into there are anti-inflammatory, so it's good for your brain, good for your body. It's not going to give you inflammation when you eat it. So, all right. Now, I'm going to ask this, would someone like to come up and cook with me? Anybody? No? Anyone? Raniel, Giselle, anybody? If not, I can start. Anyone? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, I don't know how many of you have an Instant Pot. Anybody have an Instant Pot? This is like one of the most amazing things that were ever invented. So if you have an Instant Pot, you could also do this on the stove. The instructions are stovetop, but I like this because for me it's quicker. So we are going to turn this on to saute, and let's put a little bit, like a tablespoon of olive oil, just a little circle in there of olive oil. Oh, let me put gloves on. Forgot. going to saute is the ginger and the garlic. And I took the 4 cloves of ginger and a 2-inch piece of, 4 cloves of garlic and a 2-inch piece of ginger, and I stuck it in my food processor and whizzed it all up. So it's nice and small. So go ahead and put the oil in. Excuse me. It's on. So then you're going to saute the garlic and the ginger first. And then, now, one thing that I find easy with all the dry spices that you see listed there on the recipe, what I like to do, you can go ahead and saute that, the whole thing, you could dump it all in there. What I like to do is to take a bowl and measure all your spices into that one bowl. And then once the saute is done with the garlic and the ginger, once that's been there for about a minute or so, then you are going to put your spices into that saute, yes. And so I stuck it all in a bowl, just mix it around a bit. And this comes together fairly quickly. Now if the ginger and garlic start to stick to the bottom of your pot, I usually have a little bit of water. Go ahead and put it. And usually when you throw in the dry spices, it'll start to stick, so you could just pour in a little bit of water to keep it from sticking. And now, I don't know, you'll probably start smelling some of this. Okay, well. Okay, so while that's going, we have our red lentils right here. These cook these cook fairly quickly. So what we're gonna do is throw our lentils in there and mix it all together. And then it calls for 2 cups of low sodium broth.
What's the name?
This is better than bouillon. Better than bouillon. I don't know if you've seen this or used it.
What's the name of that?
This is called better than bouillon.
Oh, really? Better than?
Yeah, that's better than bouillon. I just can't. This is the name of it.
Great. I didn't know that.
This is so versatile. You use this. You
And
could
it's
use.
plant-based.
This is plant-based.
That's right.
You could. I don't know. Can you find this at Costco in like big? Okay, yes. So I usually just take a little bit because you're gonna put water. It calls for low sodium broth, so I just stick this in here with my water. And then mix it all together. And then we'll just get all the lentils on that side. Yes?
What is this garam masala?
Garam Masala. That is a mix, it's an Indian spice. It's a mixture of different spices all in one bottle. You could find that at Walmart in the spice aisle, yes. Now, and it calls for, I can only find crushed tomatoes in these big cans, but you only need half if you're doing one recipe. So we're gonna put half of this in there. Okay, that's good. And then we're gonna mix it a little bit. And once we're done mixing, we're gonna make sure our lid is on seal. That's good. Get the lentils on the side there. Okay. Looks good. And you can put that in the bowl. We're gonna close it up and we're gonna put this for 10 minutes on pressure cook. So we're gonna put this on pressure cook for 10 minutes. Okay, now while that's doing its thing, we're going to go and make, let's make the flax walnut crackers. So we'll come over here. Let's make the flax. Okay. should show that you're gonna need 1 cup of flaxseed meal. So we're making the flax walnut crackers. If you are allergic to nuts or walnuts, just don't put it in. But it does call for some sesame seeds if you want. I mean, if you want just totally flax cracker, that's it, nothing else in it, then just don't put any of the seeds or the nuts. But we're going to put walnuts in this one today and also the sesame seeds. So you could put that in. That's 1 cup of flaxseed meal. And I like to buy my flax seeds whole and use a high-speed blender like a Vitamix or, I don't know, they have the Bullet or Ninja, I don't know what they call that. Yeah, you could use that to make flaxseed meal. Okay, you can go ahead and put it there. So 1 cup of flaxseed.
Also use a ground flaxseed?
Yes, you could buy ground flaxseed. I just prefer to have mine fresh. So ground flaxseed, 1 cup, and then we've got 1/3 cup of walnuts. I don't know if that's in the recipe, but so we'll go ahead and put that in there.
And you said you didn't put any nuts?
You could put any nuts you want to. You could put sunflower seeds, you could put pumpkin seeds, I don't know, whatever other seeds or nuts you want to put. But if you're gonna put nuts, I would grind them up a little bit because when you roll out the cracker, you want it to be flat. And with all those big nut bumps, it's gonna be hard to hold the cracker together. So next we want, I think, oh yeah, we could put the rosemary. 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoons. So we've got rosemary, putting about 2 teaspoons of rosemary. I don't have the, I'm kind of going by memory. Oh, did anyone have a question? Did you have a question?
Are you still doing the lentils?
No, we're working on the flax crackers right now. We're gonna go back to the lentils. So the lentils are cooking right now. We're gonna go back to that when it's done. So we put the rosemary, now we're gonna need onion powder. The onion powder, I believe we need 2 teaspoons of onion powder.
Thank you.
That's 1, and then 2, and then 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon. And then salt. We're using sea salt, so let me just pour this into my hand. And I believe it's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Is that what it said? Is 1/2 teaspoon of salt?
Yes.
I'm kind of going by memory. I hope my memory's not failing me. Okay, let's put this in. And then we put 1/2 cup of water. Now I had 1/2 cup of water somewhere. Well, you know what? We have water right here. I'll just pour some in. There we go. We'll just pour 1/2 cup of water. And then you just mix it till everything is moist. Okay. Let's move some of this out of the way because we will need space. Now, once you've got a moistened dough, that looks good. Here, I don't know if you all see, it's nice and moist. You could form it into a ball. You're going to take parchment paper. So you're going to take 1 piece of parchment paper and you're going to take this ball of dough and kind of dump it in the middle. Thank you. And then here, let me grab work better for me. It doesn't stick. And I flatten it out a little bit because we're going to use our rolling pin to roll it out. Now if it seems too wet, just add a little bit more flaxseed meal to it. And I mean, if it seems too dry, add a little bit more water. Let's see, it's down right here. So you're going to take another piece of parchment paper and put it on top. And then your rolling pin, I'll let you do that, and you roll it out to fit your pan. Now, I've been rolling mine out and it's been bigger than my pan, either one direction. So what I did was I took a pair of kitchen scissors and just cut down the middle and then put it into 2 different pans. And you want to roll it out till it's about, maybe about 1 to 2 millimeters thick. Millimeters, so really thin, like a cracker that you buy at the store. And I believe you should get about, depending how big you cut it, you should get about 24 to 30 crackers, depending how thin you roll it. Now flax seeds, if you already knew, has a lot of omega-3s, which omega-3 is good for anti-inflammation, which is good for your brain, good for blood flow to the brain. So it helps reduce mood swings, depression, any of those things that would affect your mental clarity. Okay, that looks good. So once you've rolled it out, you're going to peel off the top layer. There we go. Pop this out. And then you will put it onto your pan. Now that seems, well, actually before you put it on your pan, here, let's do that first. I forgot, we need to cut it, unless you want one big cracker. So I usually use a pizza cutter. If you don't have a pizza cutter, you could use a knife. So we just cut. And my crackers have never come out perfect, and that's okay as long as they taste decent.
You don't put oil on the pan?
No, we just, it's gonna stay on the paper.
Oh.
So then once you're done scoring it, then we just put it on the pan, and you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Now, depending on how thin your cracker is, after 15 minutes, you want to check it every 5 minutes to see that the edges to check that it's not burning. Okay, we'll just put that on the side. Thank you. So that is your flax cracker. Let me go, there's the samples that are there to see what it looks like when it's done. And you will get samples of all of what we're making today.
That's good.
To try it.
Yes. I want to taste it before I make it.
Okay, here is,
Like you.
so here's a sample with the walnuts in it. I mean, it's dark, yeah, you're probably not used to seeing crackers that look like this because they're always nice and pretty and light, but hey, it's good for you. And I think it tastes good. Okay, so that's flaxseed, walnut crackers. Now we're gonna move on to the third recipe, which is the eggless salad, or I like to call it tofu spread. And tofu is good for you because tofu is high, I just learned this, that it's high in tryptophan, which is good for serotonin production in your brain. Right? The brain produces serotonin. So, the first thing you're gonna do,
What kind of tofu?
this is, I got the organic firm tofu. I got this at Costco. You could buy a 4-pack for, I don't know, $5 and something cents.
But it's firm,
It's firm,
not extra firm.
not extra firm. Firm, you could use extra firm, it just probably has less water. I'm gonna dump out some of this water in our little bowl here. So you're gonna want to drain your tofu, and if it has so much water, you just squeeze it out with a paper towel. Drain it out as much as you are able, and just put it in a bowl. Is there a fork? And then you're just gonna mash it up. And let me start getting. Let's see here. Now when I do this, I don't measure. I just shake, so I have to kind of figure that out. But once you start making this, it'll be easy to figure it out. But I believe, did I put on the recipe, was it 1 or 2 teaspoons of onion powder, garlic powder?
Yeah.
1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Okay. So that was our garlic powder. Oh. And here's onion powder, salt, let's see, I think it was about, is it a teaspoon of salt? Half a teaspoon? Okay. 1 teaspoon. Okay, well, I've got about half here, so we've got to do another half. Now, usually after I finish making this, I'll taste it to see if it has enough saltiness to it or enough flavor. And if it doesn't, sometimes I'll add, I don't know if you know about this liquid, it's Bragg liquid aminos. It's a good substitute for soy sauce. It's a good substitute for salt. Sometimes I'll put a little, just a few drops of there if I need to season it up a little bit more. You could get this at I find this at Cost Less Market on 11th Street.
Smart and Final.
Oh, Smart Final has it? And also Walmart? Okay, well you can find this stuff all over the place. Okay. So now it's nice and small crumbles. We're going to add vegan mayo. I get my vegan mayo at Target. It's by Best Foods. There it is. Best Foods vegan mayo. Get mine at Target.
Can you use veggies?
You can use Vegenaise. It's for me, it's more expensive, but you use Vegenaise or whatever vegan mayo they have. And then about a tablespoon of mustard. I just squeeze, depending how much mustard you like.
What if you don't want mustard?
If you don't want mustard, you don't have to put mustard. We'll just put a few circles in there. And if you want it more moist, just add more mayo. And then we will I slice up some green onions. In the one that we're giving you as a sample, I put minced fresh sweet onion and also celery. Yeah, sorry if you don't like celery or onion, but it adds a crunch to it and it adds more vitamins.
What on the olives? Do you put it do you grind the olives?
I've done this before and I've had it where it's had chopped olives. You could chop it. You could keep it in, slices. I've done that before too. And now this is finished. And it looks like that. And so now we have the 2 done. So the tofu spread's done. The crackers would just need to be baked. And we have 2 more minutes in the Instant Pot. But once the Instant Pot is done, what we're going to do is add the coconut milk and some tahini. I know it says if you can't get a hold of tahini, I know they sell tahini in the stores. If you don't like tahini, you could also use almond butter, and if that just adds a richness to the lentils.
Where do you find the tahini?
Tahini?
Tahini is a sesame.
Yes, it's sesame paste, and you can find that where you find peanut butter and jelly, in that same aisle wherever they have that.
Mediterranean.
Yeah, well, it's a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern food ingredient.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have one more minute. Are there any questions? Any questions so far?
You can put turmeric, you said, right?
In here, yes, you could put turmeric. I didn't have any turmeric. I guess my mustard is what's giving this a little bit of color. But yes, you could put a little more turmeric in it to give it more color. So, oh, it's done. So now we're going to quick release this. Let me- I'm sorry. The almond butter. We're going to put, I do not have the almond butter. I'm going to use tahini today. Now the recipe, original recipe called for 3 tablespoons. I like mine not as rich, so I'm just using 1 tablespoon today. So we will use that spoon. Now once this is finished releasing, we will put the tahini and then we'll put the coconut milk. And then you just top it off with a squeeze of some lemon, and we have cilantro to go on top.
1 teaspoon of one tablespoon of tahini.
Yes, you can use up to 3 tablespoons. I like mine more full flavored, so I don't add as much. There we go. Nice and hot. Okay. Okay, go ahead and we'll put 1 tablespoon of tahini. Careful. Mix it in. And you're going, for the coconut milk, you want a full fat coconut milk. This one has 17 grams of fat. You don't want the one that has just 5 grams of fat. It's not gonna taste as rich. It'll be a little more watered down. Now we're going to put the coconut milk. Mix that up, and then, let's see. Then when that's done mixing and it's well combined, then we put lemon juice. Just a squeeze. Okay. And then some chopped cilantro. And it's done. So now you just eat it over your rice. Now some have added, you could add cubed tofu to it if you want a little bit more something to chew, because this seems more like a stew. It has no, it's not one of those, it doesn't have hearty chunks of something to chew on. You just eat it over rice. But if you want to put a plant-based vegetarian meat in there, you know, you could add that to it. I know my sister-in-law, she puts shredded sweet potato, and she'll do that before she puts the lid on and cooks it for the 10 minutes. So the sweet potato will cook. So that's another option.
Can you put any other vegetable?
Sure. You could add anything you'd like to spruce it up. But we have all these, so we've got the red lentil curry, the salad, the tofu spread, and the crackers. So we're gonna have samples of that. So while we'll go ahead and set that up. Any questions? If there are no questions, we'll just clear this out and we'll go ahead and serve the samples.
Maybe the cilantro is a little bit strong. If it's a
I'm sorry, oh, the cilantro?
It's a little bit strong to me.
Oh, okay, well, we could just put it aside. I didn't put too much in there. Or you don't have to add it at all if you don't want any.
Can you put parsley to the cilantro?
You could put parsley instead of cilantro. You could put green onion. You don't have to put anything to top. It's just, something green to make it look pretty. You know what? We're giving you a takeout. We want you to get some.
Okay, because I do want some of the egg salad and the carrot.